Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Is the video okay, bro?
Yeah. That is come. Very honored and grateful to have you here. So let us express our gratitude to His Grace Radheshyam for his presence by loudly chanting 3 days Hare Bol.
Okay.
So if you have the association with devotees, they're like walking tirtha, mobile tirtha. So we will also get the benefit of being present in that tirtha.
You can connect to a wireless
Prabhuji
display.
Cast here.
Brahmachari,
Connect to wireless display.
traveling and preaching. So let me read
How to
his
connect here?
Start पे लिख देना तो connect to wireless display.
Provision IIT Mumbai topper, worked with the CRA as a senior research fellow and as a design engineer at Thermax and Mathur Clark. Introduced to ISKCON 1991 and became Brahmachari in Chapati in 1994. Initiated by Swami Maharaj in 1993. Signed to ISKCON Pune in 1995. Ordered to start youth teaching basic His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj and His Holiness Radheshyam Maharaj. Contribution to youth and youth corporates and congregation. Youth trainer since 1995 in IITs and MITs and engineering colleges of India and abroad. Emperor of books on science and spirituality like Discover Yourself, Stress to Smile, 5-volume Essence of Gita. His favorite service is to make and share youth and congregation preaching materials and share them at www.radheshyamdas.com and YouTube. Radheshyam Global Excellence Award winner for educating youth in Bhagavad Gita and Jiva Goswami Award winner for innovating youth outreach. ISKCON Pune sent over 200 brahmacharis to Calcutta, Kanpur, Varanasi and other Prayagraj, Juhu, Thane, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Harvard. Most powerful preacher and youth preacher on the planet, and we are very fortunate to have him here. And I humbly request him to come up here and inspire all of us, including everyone. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Chandra Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Radha Madhava Chandra Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yashodanandana Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yashodanandana नाम संकीर्तन की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च। श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। 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 नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna, welcome all of you. Today is Wednesday evening for so many of you to come. It's not an ordinary thing. Thank you for your enthusiastic spirit in coming to the temple, and even on a weekday. So, this grace, Yoga Kishore Prabhu had chosen a topic. Lit up your hearts with the Lord of Vraja. That's the topic he gave. So let us take one shloka from the Bhagavatam. This is 10th canto, 19th chapter, first verse. 10.19.1. You all can repeat after me, please. Shri Shuka Uvacha Krida Sakteshu Gopeshu Tadgavo Duracharini Svairam Jarantyo Vivashus Shrinalobhena Gahvaram Shri Shuka Uvacha Krida Sakteshu Gopeshu Tadgavo Duracharini Svairam Charantyo Vivashus So this verse comes just after the killing of Pralambasura. Who knows who killed Pralambasura? Balaramji. So Pralambasura was carrying away Balaram from his friends deep into the forest. And then he increased his size, very huge, from earth to sky. And Balaram, with his fist, he pounded on his head and finished him. Then he collapsed. Then the Pralambasura's body was very long, huge form. And the body was dead, it was lying, and all the cowherd boys lifted Balaram on their shoulders and they celebrated a festival. After that, they all became absorbed in a game. Most amazing thing with these cowherd boys, when they are with Krishna and Balaram, they are practically fearless. Because just here, the body is lying, just like this wall. And they are in front of the body, they are playing games now. It is mentioned here. Practically, because Krishna Balaram are with them, they have nothing to fear. Therefore it is said, Krida Sakteshu Gopeshu. The Gopas were attached to playing with Krishna Balaram. They got completely jubilant in playing game. At that time what happened? Tad Gao Dura Charini, it is said. Dura means distant. Charini means they wanted to graze grass which was little far away from that place in one forest called as Munjatavi. There was a forest. So the cows and calves, they started gradually going to that forest. Why did they go? Not that they were hungry, because already their stomach was full. They had eaten grass adequately. It is said, the fourth line, Trinalobena Gahvaram, it is said, you see. Trinalob means even after filling up their belly, suddenly they saw in that Munjatavi forest long, fresh, green grass was available. Lush green. So they thought, okay, why to lose this opportunity? Little more let us eat. Just like sometimes you have just finished your lunch prasad. You also had that. After that, somebody comes and gives you a son papdi from Giriraj in Vrindavan. Then what would you do? You would say, okay Prabhu, you are lovingly giving me, how can I say no? And eat it. So is it your physical hunger or mental hunger? Mental hunger. So physically your stomach is already full, but still we eat it. That's called as lob. Trinalobhena Gahvaram, he says. Because they saw this grass, they thought, alas, if only we saw this grass before eating, it would have been nice. But now after eating, we got this now. Anyway, let us not lose the opportunity. So they went there. Swairam means independently. Not being directed by their master. Swairam, independently. Charantyo means they started grazing. Vivishuhu means to enter. They entered into that Munjatavi forest for grazing that grass due to the Trinaloba. Greed for eating that grass. Swairam, independently. Very, very deep verse it is. So this also has a meaning for all the practicing sadhaka bhaktas also, like all of us. So sometimes when we become preoccupied with various activities, our senses may cheat us. Our senses are compared to gao. The word go has many meanings. Govind, we say, no? Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Radhe Gopala Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe Gopala Radhe Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda You came here only. I'll anytime take it. Huh? So, go means cow, go means senses, go also means the bhumi, earth also is called go. So, Lord gives pleasure to the earth, Lord gives pleasure to the cows, Lord gives pleasure to the senses of his devotee also. So, in the Srimad Bhagavatam there is a very nice verse. Kavasaheta viraham purushottamasya premavalokaruchirasmitaval gujalpaihi stairyam samanamaharan madhumadhavinam romotsavo mamayadangrivitankitāya. This is a prayer by Bhumi Devi. She is telling, my dear Lord, when you would leave Dwaraka and go to Vrindavan, all the Dwarkavasis will be lamenting in separation from you. They all will be waiting at the door of Dwaraka to receive you back. And when you leave Vrindavan and go to Mathura, all the Vrajabasis will be weeping. They won't get to see you. Then when you leave Mathura to go to Hastinapur, then Mathura Vasis will be weeping. When are you going to return back? In this way, you delight in putting your devotees in separation, hiding and not showing yourself to the devotees. But although Dwaraka Vasis and Mathura Vasis and Vrindavan Vasis were lamenting, I never lamented, Bhumi Devi says. Why? Because you always walked on the surface of the earth and I was in contact with you. So I never lamented. You be in Vrindavan or Dwaraka, doesn't matter for me. Both places your lotus feet touched me. I was always blissful. But along with them, now I am also lamenting now. Why? Because you left the earth and you are going back home, back to Godhead now. So I am also lamenting. And then she is telling that by your smiles, by your glance, by your sweet speech, you charmed the hearts of all your devotees, both in Vrindavan and in Dwaraka also. And you brought under control even strong personalities like Satyabhama and others. They became subdued by your love. You are such a powerful personality, but right now we won't be able to see you, see your beauty. Like that, the Dharti Bhumi is lamenting. So, Lord doesn't wear any sandals in Vrindavan. He walks barefoot. So why? So that all the 16 symbols of his lotus feet can be pressed against the earth and it marks an impression. So that's why it is said, Jayate Edikam Janmana Vraja Shrayata Indira. It is said, the earth in Vrindavan became sanctified by Krishna's lotus footprints. Kunti is also saying that in Hastinapur, Neyam so vishyate tatra yatedanim gadadara swapadai rankita bhati swalakshana vilakshitaihi. Your lotus feet footprints are producing auspiciousness in the land of Hastinapur, she is telling. Because I see all the 16 footprints clearly visible on the earth and that is glowing, she is saying. Because the thunderbolt destroys the mountain of sinful reactions of the devotee. Similarly, the lotus represents the devotee is pure and pristine even in a muddy pool of water like material world. The umbrella represents, just as above the head of Indra, the umbrella is held. Similarly, a devotee who becomes Krishna conscious is made very famous by the Lord. Just like Lord Ramachandra was served by a squirrel and Hanuman, correct? That such a small squirrel became world famous because of serving Lord Ram. Even today we talk about the squirrel, isn't it? Lokanam Kirti Vardhanam. Lord increases the glory of his devotees. The gopis were simple girls in rustic village of Vraj, but they became the most popular devotees in the eyes of all the great saintly persons, including Acharyas and Lord Chaitanya and everybody. Lord increases the fame of his devotees. That is lotus feet. So, in this way, the Lord's lotus feet touching the earth gives pleasure to the earth. So it's called as Govind. That's one meaning. Another meaning of Govind is he gives great pleasure to the cows by taking them to the forest. This one? Yeah. Who is the Kartal player? Pranata Dehiram मुकुटेषु Radheshyam. Hare Krishna. Everybody together. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. So, Krishna, it is said here, Pranata Dehinam Papa Krishnam. Anyone who is surrendered to Krishna, the thunderbolt in his lotus feet represents that he makes into powder the mountain of sinful reactions of the past. He can do that very easily for his devotee. Like he went to Yamaloka and told Yamaraj, give my Guru's son back. And Yamaraj said, but he has come here for some punishment. What about that? Krishna said, write it in my account. And send him back. He said, yeah. Guru Putra Mihanitam Nijakarma Nibandhanam Anayasva Maharaja Mat Shasana Puraskrataha. He says, write in my account and send him. Because Krishna says, Aham Tvam Mokshayishyami. So Krishna can write your sinful reaction in his account. And what is his account? His account is like a sun. If you throw a bucket of water in the sun, it can easily evaporate it. For him it's very easy. So that is Pranatadihinam Papakarshana. And Trinachara Anugam. Who is Trinachara Anugam? Trinachara is who? Cow. Anugam means one who follows. Who follows it? No, Krishna. Trinachara Anugam. His lotus feet are following the cows which are going to the forest. Sriniketanam. Sriniketanam means he is the husband of goddess of fortune. Although he is husband of goddess of fortune, he doesn't have to go for cow herding. But he goes for cow herding like a leela, just for joy. Just like Prime Minister of India, when he had newly become a Prime Minister, once he was doing this yoga. And that video went viral. Now one boy was telling, Prabhuji, I also do yoga daily. Nobody takes my video. How they are putting Prime Minister's video? Because who is doing it is very important. Anybody can do yoga, correct? No? So when a PM does it, it becomes famous. Similarly, when Krishna goes for herding the cow, then he comes to be called as Gopal or Govinda. So he becomes very famous with that name. So, Trinachara Anugam, Sriniketanam. And the same lotus feet also he dances on the hoods of Kaliya and purifies them. So in this way, Krishna gives pleasure to the cows by going with them. He takes them to the Yamuna and gives them water, spends time with the cows, cows and calves herding them. The cows are looking for him. Cows have a deep affection for him. They very fondly give abundant supply of milk for Krishna. So he gives pleasure to the earth, he gives pleasure to the cows, and he also gives pleasure to the senses of the devotee. Now how does he give pleasure to the senses of the devotee? Romanchakam Pashruta Rangabajo Vande Guru Shri Charanadavindam. So the Ashta Sattvika Vikar, which manifests in the body of the devotee, it produces a paravash. Paravash means a bliss which is beyond the body and senses and mind and intelligence also. The boundless bliss is produced in the body of a devotee. There is a verse which says that Evam Vratasva Priyanama Kirtya Jatanurago Dutachitta Uchchaihi Evam Hasati Roditi Rauti Gayati Unmadavan Nrityati Lokabahya. He says in this verse, when a devotee sings and dances in great transcendental ecstasy, a devotee loses contact with the external world around. One loses all shame. A devotee may shout the holy name loudly. A devotee may run. A devotee may roll on the ground. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Mukunda to sing, so Mukunda's singing erupted all devotees in great ecstasy. Some devotees are weeping, some devotees are laughing, some devotees are running, somebody was rolling on the ground. Some devotee lied on the ground and took a leg of another devotee and kept in their chest. Like that, they were feeling such ecstasy in Mukunda's kirtan. So that flood of bliss that Krishna gives to the devotee, therefore is called Govinda. gives great joy to the devotee. He says, Pratyakshavagamam dharmyam susukam. That is the bliss. Susukam kartum avyayam. Similarly, he says, Yayatma suprasidati. That is also bliss. Evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogataha. So when you connect with the Bhagavad Bhakti, you feel prasanna manaso. You feel great bliss. So Krishna gives great joy to the senses. At the same time, one should know that although our senses can experience the greatest bliss in Krishna's service, sometimes our senses go for sense gratification. See, our senses can take two directions. If you connect with Krishna, you get transcendental bliss. If you connect with Maya, you get sense gratification. Both give happiness. But what is the difference? You can read 18.37 and 18.38, homework. Bhagavad Gita. How many of you promised me you will read it? Okay, 18.37, 18.38. Vishayendriya samyogat yad dadagre amritopamam pariname vishamiva tatsukam rajasam smritam. Yad dadagre vishamiva parinamo amritopamam tatsukam satvikam proktam atma buddhi prasadajam. These two are very important words. It says that the passionate pleasures of this world instantly give you a kick or a pleasure, but eventually they frustrate you forever. And the sattvic happiness, that is little painful in the beginning and eventually leads to everlasting happiness. Just like, for example, getting up in the early morning is little difficult, especially in cold winter. But once you get up, take a bath, put tilak in 12 parts of your body, wear a fresh dress and sit in the puja room and chant, you feel blissful, feel very happy. On the other hand, somebody says, Prabhu, I also feel very blissful under the carpet, with drool coming out of the mouth till 8 o'clock, and like that. So what is that happiness called? Tamasika happiness. What happiness? Tamasika happiness. So tamasic happiness, sattvic happiness, what is the difference between the two? Tamasic happiness is temporary and also it covers us in illusion. It is ignorance and happiness, like the pig in the ditch is also happy. He thinks he is happy, but we know he is not happy. But the sattvika happiness which comes by rising from the bed and taking bath and wearing tilak and going in front of the Lord, dancing, so that gives sattvika happiness. So if sattvika happiness is so joyful, what is become Vishuddha sattva happiness, which is spiritual, which is even beyond sattva also. That is everlasting. It is permanent. So we all can get that permanent happiness provided we connect our senses upward to the Lord's service. Rishikena, Rishikesha Sevanam. Then the happiness you get by Rishikena, Rishikesha Sevanam, that is called Govinda. So he gives pleasure to the sense of the devotee. Whereas the same senses which give so-called happiness by material enjoyment, they are eventually frustrating. Prahlad Maharaj gives example of itching sensation. For example, sometimes you feel itching sensation. It is very prominent. You immediately want to put your hand and scratch it. When you scratch it, it becomes red. Still you want to scratch, then it bleeds also. If you further scratch, a lot of bleeding will happen. And apply the medicine. So the material pleasures are like that, scratching. Prahlad Maharaj says that. So two things we should do whenever we get that scratching sensation. One is, immediately divert your attention to some higher activity. For example, immediately you read some Vaishnava song or something, or you read some Bhagavad Gita or something, you forget about this itching sensation. Divert your attention to something higher. And apply some medicine on the scratch. So similarly, Prabhupada has given us two principles. Chanting the holy name is like the healing balm. And following the four regulative principles is like not scratching. So these four regulative principles we follow: no illicit sex, no meat eating, no gambling, and no intoxication. These four things, Prabhupada said 50% of your problems are solved if you just follow these four regulative principles. Because these four principles are given in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Then that means not scratching. And applying the balm is chanting Hare Krishna. Chanting Hare Krishna is like a medicine. It's a sarvaroga nivarani. It can destroy all the diseases of the soul. So, then by doing these two things, one becomes blissful, and that bliss is Govinda bliss. Govinda, Lord gives pleasure to the senses. So coming to this pastime now, Tad Gavo Duracharini means a sadhana bhakta sometimes becomes preoccupied with something during which his senses may go in a wrong direction. Duracharini. Actually, that forest of Munjatavi is a very risky place because long bamboos were there, very tall bamboos, and when the cows entered to eat the grass, on all four sides, fire started engulfing them. On all four sides. So, that fire is compared to samsara davanal fire. Samsara davanal means what? When there are two bamboos and they abrade with each other, suddenly a spark of fire is produced. And from that one spark, it jumps and then increases the fire more and more. Just like we had Los Angeles fires, California fires. Oh, you must have seen the video, how much a helicopter jets were throwing water. Could they put off easily? It was jumping from one building to another. Some Hollywood actresses came home and saw only one stick was remaining. Yeah, the whole house was burned down. These fires are very huge. Similarly, in this world, what is the samsara davanala fire? In our life also, the anarthas which engulf us, like lust, anger, pride, greed, illusion, envy and all these things. So these are all causing multiple type of sufferings, like the adhyatmika, adhibhautika, adhidevika, klesh. Similarly, the kshut means hunger, pipasa means thirst, jara means old age, mrityu means death, and shoka means lamentation, moha means illusion. So these 6 whips are also produced in the samsara. So any intelligent sadhaka should be able to see that in this world, there is always this danger of birth, old age, disease and death. There is danger of adhyatmika, adhibhautika, adhidaivika. And these 6 whips, they are all kept. So some amount of fear is required of these things, so that one should develop a desire and impetus for going back home, back to Godhead, and remaining protected in the association of devotees. One should have the fear. I'll tell you a simple example. Say, if there is a mango in a tree here, I ask you, can you get these mangoes? You may say, no, Prabhuji, I cannot climb the tree. I don't know tree climbing. I can't get it. Maybe if there is a stick or something, I can hit and take it. But you are searching for a stick, you are not able to get. I tell you, give a try to climb. You may climb a little bit and get down and say, no, it's difficult. And you don't have sufficient impetus to climb up. But imagine if a tiger comes, will you climb or not? Correct, no? Somehow you will climb. Don't ask me how you climb. Is it not true? Similarly, those who have sufficient fear of Maya, they will figure out a way to advance. They will take Krishna very seriously. Otherwise, we take it very lightly. So this samsara davanala, one should have sufficient fear that, already I have come to a wrong place. Mahaprabhu says that, Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavambudau kripaya tava pada pankaja stita dhuli sadrisham vichintaya. He says, my dear Lord, Nanda, son of Nanda, I have fallen into this ocean of birth and death somehow. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me at your lotus feet as one of the millions of devotees. So, patitam mam, he says, we have fallen, but we have to rise now and go back to Godhead. And for going back to Godhead, we should connect our senses with the Lord through devotional service. Although devotional service instantly may not give pleasure in the beginning, but one is engaging the senses again and again in Lord's service. Just like iron rod put in fire becomes fiery. It behaves like fire. Similarly, senses engaged in Krishna service become completely spiritualized. Like you are doing pujari seva, you are doing book distribution, you are taking darshan of the deities, you are cooking for the devotees, you are serving the devotees, you are cleaning the temple. So all these activities with the senses, they will sanctify our body. Your body will not remain material anymore. It will become completely spiritualized. One devotee went into puja room and came out. And everybody said, Prabhu, how are you so fragrant? He is not fragrant, but in puja room there was chandan, so some chandan stuck onto his body. So sticking to his body, so he became fragrant. Similarly, anyone who connects with Krishna becomes very divine. The divinity is increased by connecting with the Lord. So our senses should listen to the Lord's instructions, and our senses should be controlled by Guru's instruction. Therefore, in the Bhagavatam, there is a verse which says, Yatha gavo nasi protas tantyam baddhascha namabhi. It says, the Brahmanas are learned, wise devotees. They are like a cow which is controlled by a rope. They put a rope in the nose, you have seen that? And whichever direction you pull, they go. Similarly, these people are controlled by the Vedic sound vibration, which is like a rope. That means they strictly follow the Veda Vak. If Guru has told you should do this, they will do it. They will not go otherwise. Sometimes people go for so many compromises in their spiritual life. That's because they have not taken the instructions of the Guru very seriously. So these cows also, did they take permission from the covered boys to go? No, Swairam, independently. They went, Charanti, Vibhishu. They went and entered into a place where they are not supposed to enter. And that's why they got into trouble by going there. Similarly, if our senses also go to certain areas which they should not go, like nowadays so many pop-ups are coming, people click it, and the senses are going into a wrong place. Later on, one laments, alas, I have seen something that should not be seen. And then later on, mind becomes polluted, contaminated, completely dirty. One should not put garbage inside one system. Will anybody do that? You open the door of your house and tell the garbage truck, please kindly take reverse and come here and throw everything inside my house and go. Will you do that ever? It's such a nasty truck it is, which carries the garbage. So you want to remove the garbage from the house and keep it outside, not that you welcome garbage into your house. Similarly, with our senses, we should not take any garbage in. What is garbage and what is pure is also said. Yanna vrajantya vido rachananuvādat shrinvanti yenya vishaya kukathamati yastu shruta hata bhagair niviratta saras tam kshipanti asharaneshu tamassu hantah. Brahma says that yad na prajanti, those people who do not study the Vedic literatures like Bhagavatam, Rachananuvādat means pastimes of the Lord, and they will do what? Shrinvanti, they will definitely hear what? Anya Vishaya. Anya Vishaya means other things. What is it? Kukata is saying. There's Satkatha, there is Kukata. Kukata means they will definitely read some cinema magazines. They will definitely read some political news. They will definitely read something of the worldly things, sense gratificatory magazines. They will watch dirty movies. Or they are watching He-Man, Batman, Spider-Man. So many things. Which will not purify us. Kukata Matigni means they destroy your intelligence. He says, they waste your time, they destroy your intelligence. Yastu Shruta, those people who hear that. Hata Bhagair, they become unfortunate, he says. Niviratta saras, the human energy is extracted out. See, we all have limited human energy, do you agree? We have too much energy or less energy? We don't have too much. We have, and Kali Yuga bodies are very fragile. Some energy we have, that you use it in chanting, Krishna Nama Govinda, go back to Godhead. Don't waste that energy in reading all this useless literature. When I come to US every time, I see all the screens are on in the aeroplane. And in most of the screens there are weird characters. All kinds of characters which are all concocted characters. People are watching strange, somebody is watching horror movie, somebody is watching some cartoon, somebody is watching some, all concocted things. They are all kukata, correct, no? They are not going to purify us. Therefore he is saying, Hata Bhagai Niviratta Sara, Stam Chipanti Asharaneshu, without any shelter, Tamassu, they glide down to hell. Hantaha, alas, like that Brahma is saying. So, on the other hand, in the next verse he says, those people who chant the holy name of the Lord, who recite the Srimad Bhagavatam, and absorb their consciousness in these pastimes of Lord Krishna in Vrindavan. So, those type of people, suddenly at one point of time they will see their hair will stand on end, their tears will well up in their eyes, their heart will breathe in great ecstasy, and they will find the presence of the Lord even in this world, even before going there. And having obtained the Lord of the life, even here, Such devotees will delightfully practice devotional service. At the time of death, they will go back home, back to Godhead. Like that. So 2 verses Brahma says, if you want to read it, it is 3rd canto, 15th chapter. Toward the end you will read it. So, in this way, tad gavo duracharini. Sometimes the senses, they go to prohibited areas. Duracharini. Swairam, whimsically, independently, not caring for Guru's instruction. This is certainly greed. See, there is a need, there is greed. There is necessity versus luxury. So when you don't draw a line between necessity and luxury, then we get carried away. And what happened further? Once they saw the fire on all the sides, one good thing the cows did. They loudly called for Krishna. Okay, we'll go to that verse. Krishna Krishna Mahavira, He Rama Mogha Vikrama, Tavagnina Dahyamana, Prapannam Stratum Arhataha. Covered by said, Oh Krishna, Krishna, oh most powerful one, oh Rama, you whose prowess never fails, please save your devotees who are about to be burned by this forest fire, and I have come to take shelter of you. You see, the boys were worried about the cows and calves. But sometimes when the Vijavasis are praying to Krishna for protection, you may wonder, what is this? Vijavasis are afraid of their life. They want to be protected from fire or protected from some demon. But in one place it mentions Bhagavatam. Why the Vijavasis want to be protected? Because they are worried that if we die, who will take care of Krishna? That is their fear. So they are afraid to leave Krishna alone. So they say, please protect us so that we can take care of you. That is their... Nunam tvad bandhava Krishna Nacharhantya vasaditum Vayam hi sarva dharmajna Tvannathas tvat parayana. Krishna, certainly your own friend shouldn't be destroyed. Oh, knower of the nature of all things, accept you as our Lord, we are so surrendered unto you. And then see, Krishna is telling now. Shri Shuka Uvacha Vacho Nishamya Kripanam Bandhunam Bhagavan Harihi Nimilayatam Abhaishta Lochanan Iti Abhashata. So, hearing the words of his pitiable devotees, Bandhunam Bhagavan Hari, they are all very, very dear associates of the Lord. Nimilayata, he said, all of you covered boys, you close your eyes. And Ma Bhaishta, do not fear, I am here, like the Krishna said. Many places Krishna will say in 10th canto, Ma Bhaishta. He gives assurance to his devotees. And Nimilayata what? Nimilayata Lochanani. Close your eyes. Abhashata. Like that Bhagavan said. Now why did Krishna tell them to close the eyes? Because he thought once these fellows complained to my mother about eating mud. And Mother Yashoda bound me up with ropes. Now if they tell Mother Yashoda that I am swallowing forest fire, my Lord, 1 year she will bind me up. So Lord was wanting to be confident that these fellows, none of them will see what I am doing. So he told them, Nimilayata Lochanani, close your eyes. Now let me ask you a question. If all four-side fire is engulfing you, how many of you will be little afraid to close your eyes? Honestly, correct now? Somebody tells you, close your eyes, it will be gone. Will you close your eyes or not? My Lord, you will say, what are you talking? If you close my eyes, what if fire comes and, it burns me from behind? Correct now? But they did not ask any logic or reason or anything. They said, okay, Krishna is telling us to close our eyes, so we will close our eyes. Amazingly, when they closed their eyes, inside their closed eyes, they saw colorful pastimes of Krishna and Vraj. They saw Krishna is entering the forest of Vraj. Peacocks are dancing and welcoming him. The cuckoos are cooing. Coo, coo, and they're making sweet sounds welcoming. And the trees are offering him flower and fruits. Yamuna is offering lotuses, throwing lotuses in Krishna's lotus feet. The bumblebee is humming and singing Krishna's glories and coming and sitting in Krishna's garland. So they were seeing all this. Krishna herding cows and calves. They were seeing what all playful pastimes he does in Vrindavan. They were seeing that when they closed their eyes. And then when Krishna told them, now you open your eyes. And they opened their eyes, they saw the fire was fully gone completely. Paramapuja Radhagovind Maharaj was telling a very amazing lesson from this pastime. So he was telling that the Lord told them to close their eyes to the fire. Similarly, all of us should close our eyes to the propensity for sense gratification, he said. Because the sense gratification produces burning fire. Dushpurena. What is that famous verse? Avritam jnanametena jnanino nityavairina kamarupena kaunteya dushpurena analena cha. He says that this lust in this world is like a burning fire. If you put more and more petrol in fire, can you expect it to stop it? What will happen? It will burn more. Huh? Similarly, lust can never be satisfied by indulgence. Huh? And so lust can never be escaped by abstinence. And lust can only be, gotten rid of by sublimation. And sublimation is surrendering to Krishna. Actually, people like Daksha Prajapati, they say that indulge in lust repeatedly, you will thoroughly get frustrated one day. And then you will give it up. Na anubhuya na janati puman vishayati kshnatam nirvidyate swayam tasmat na tata bhinnadhik paraihi is saying, na anubhuya na janati. Unless you do anubhav yourself, indulge again and again in lusty activities and then you get kicks repeatedly, you will develop so much fear, just like that once upon a time, a cat was given hot milk, smoky milk, but the foolish cat put the mouth and its moustache got burned. He was crying for some days. Later on somebody gave him buttermilk, still was blowing on it because he developed a fear for anything white. If he saw anything white, he thought it must be very hot. So similarly he said, one enters into lusty activities in this world and gets solid kicks, one gets frustrated, he will never go for it like that. Who says? Daksha says. So this is indulgence. The other extreme is in Ashtavakra. What he says? He says develop vairagya. You live in a place where there is no possibility of lust. Go to the Himalayas. Go to the Himalayan jungle where there is no other human being. You will be the only one there. And by completely abstaining from it and developing vairagya, you can give up, he says, which is also not true. Vishwamitra, 60,000 years, he went to some seclusion and hearing the sound of ankle bell tinkling, he fell down there. Whereas in ISKCON, we are living in the heart of the city. And not only you are living in the city, your smartphone brings everything in the world into your palms, isn't it? So that means we are living in Kali Yuga in such a age where Jai Shri Radha Gopijan Vallabha Ki. So we are living in a day and age when you cannot run away from all these things. You cannot go, if you go for indulgence you will be burnt, if you go for abstinence also you will be allured. But if one has given one's heart to Krishna, then such a heart becomes oblivious to this kind of propensities. So Maharaj was telling that when you close your eyes, you are doing it on whose order? Krishna. That means one should avoid seeing prohibited things. That's the meaning of closing the eyes. Krishna says, don't watch prohibited things. Close your eyes. When you close your eyes and then meditate on large pastimes, artha pravriti. So anartha nivritti, artha pravriti. So by doing that, they easily could become free from the samsara davanal, from the big fire of material existence. All of us, devotees in ISKCON, if you faithfully chant 16 rounds every day and follow the 4 regulative principles strictly without any compromise, Prabhupada has promised us that you'll go back home, back to Godhead. As easy as what Krishna did with his covered boys. He just followed the forest fire and liberated them. I mean, from the fear. And cows also, cows and calves and the covered boys, they were all saved. So, because they faithfully followed his order, that's the point. Any questions? 5 minutes I can take questions. Do I have to give this mic or we have one more mic available? We have another mic. Hare Krishna.
How to develop faith and the process so that I can become fearless?
Yeah. Actually, first the faith, how does it develop? Prabhupada says, Shraddha means trust in something sublime, isn't it? So, Shraddha comes in varieties of ways. I will tell you a few ways I will share. The faith jumps from the heart of a faithful devotee into another devotee's heart. Bhakti sanjayate bhakti, it is said. So, somebody has a very deep-rooted faith in the Lord, like Bhakti Vedantas, they had a great faith in Lord Krishna. So this Dasiputra, when he served them, then from their heart, the faith jumped into the heart of the boy. He developed a firm faith also in the process. So faith is contagious. Somebody with a deep-rooted faith, one hears from such a devotee, serves such a devotee, and one also develops faith. That's one of the ways to develop faith. Another thing, the faith is not created, faith is unfolded. The strong faith in Krishna is already there. Shraddha Shabde Vishwasa Kohe Sudrida Nishchai Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Krita Hai. It is said, Shraddha Shabde Vishwasa Kohe Sudrida Nishchai. In my life, if I simply become Krishna conscious, everything can be achieved. One has a full, complete conviction. So, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabu Noi Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte Kara Yavodai. He's saying that Krishna Prema and Krishna Shraddha, these are all already there, but they are covered over. As we remove the anarthas, they become unfolded. So, I will show you this thing. See, these were the 5 qualifications of a prospective devotee going back to Godhead. Prabhupada says in 1.5.29, you cannot mark the number. First he says, when you have attachment to pure devotees, seek genuine devotees, avoid pseudo devotees. Seek pure devotees, he says. And then he says, that boy had a gentle behavior. First he was attached to pure devotees. Tasyavam menu raktasya. And then gentle behavior, be humble, receptive to instructions. And thirdly, eradication of sins through service. Serve pure devotees sincerely, service purifies sins. And then strong faith, unwavering faith in devotees' words and instructions. We may not have faith in Krishna so much in the beginning, but if you have faith in devotees' words and instructions, then faith in Krishna develops. And subjugation of the senses and strict following. Sense control by strict adherence to guidance. That means if you subjugate your senses, then you strictly follow the instructions. Otherwise you cannot follow instructions. Correct? Huh? Many times we fail to follow instructions because we don't subjugate our senses. So these 5 qualities are given in that verse. What is that verse? All of you can repeat. Tasyavam menu raktasya prashritasya hataina saha shraddhadanasya balasya dantasya anucharasya cha. Tasyavame anuraktasya. He was attached to pure devotees. You ask yourself, all of you, who is one devotee you are attracted to or attached to? Whose words you will take seriously? Like one boy was telling, Prabhuji, I don't have any attraction to anybody. I said, deeply find out. There must be at least one great Vaishnava you are attracted to. Some attachment is required. From there, because if you are not attracted to Krishna, at least you should be attracted to some great devotee. It's the first one. Then you take the Vani seriously. Just as we take a plate and run for prasad, like that we should run for hearing also. Or hearing and reading Prabhupada books also. That much eagerness should be there. And second one is gentle behavior. Prashritasya. We should be humble and receptive to instructions. We should not have a closed mind. See, hearing has two gates. One gate is ear gate, another one is heart gate. Some people while sitting in the class, they go to sleep. So if they sleep, this gate only is closed. They didn't hear anything. Some people are attentive, they hear, but they don't agree with the speaker. They say, "Arey मालूम है क्या?" They say, बार-बार वही बोलते रहते हैं. They don't take it seriously. That means ear is open, this door is open, this door is closed. Yeah. So which door should be open, this or this? Then hearing takes place properly. So therefore, I generally tell the devotees, who is the speaker you consider as a personality whom you adore in your heart? There are people who admire. There are many thousands of Vaishnavas across the globe. At least there should be one fellow to whom your intelligence and your heart bows down to. Identify, and then if your heart is resonating with that sound vibration, then you can get the association. So gentle behavior. Then eradication of sins, when does it happen? When you do seva. How to do seva? One way to serve a Vaishnava is to hear. Another way to hear a Vaishnava is to follow the teachings that we have heard. Another way to follow a Vaishnava is to serve the body of the Vaishnava, Vapu Seva. You drive him in a car, or you cook something for him, or wash his clothes, and that's Vapu Seva. Another way to serve a Vaishnava is also to serve and observe. Observe means how this Vaishnava is dealing with people, situations, and what is the conviction of this Vaishnava. So observing very carefully and learning. So the boy did all those things, this Dasiputra, and he became a great devotee. Yeah. And strong faith in devotees' words and instructions. Some people have such a deep-rooted faith. There was one gardener, even now he's doing gardening. He had come for Prabhupada's appearance day festival. So he was telling, 40 years ago, Prabhupada told me, I was standing in the garden. When he was entering the temple, Prabhupada looked at me and said, "So you do gardening for Krishna, you do?" He said, "Yes, Prabhupada, I am a gardener." He said, "All your life you do gardening and offer flowers to Krishna." That's all Prabhupada said. Still he is following, even 45 years later. Because Prabhupada told me, I will follow it till my last breath. So, strong faith in devotees' words and instructions. Yeah. Like I was hearing today, our His Grace Jagat Guru Prabhu was telling in the Detroit temple we had gone. So at one point of time there were a lot of management challenges. So Prabhu was considering, should I leave the West and go to Vrindavan, take a house, and you can chant the holy name peacefully and spend the rest of your life in spiritual absorption and everything. So he asked his spiritual master. His spiritual master said, "See, if you come to Vrindavan, you will be close to Delhi. I can also offer you some service in Vrindavan. So it will be very great. At the same time, who will take care of here? This temple service which you have been doing for so many years. Please accept my words. This is your Vrindavan. So stay here," he said. He said, after that he decided, for life I will stay here. So, and he stayed all through like that. He has been staying here since 1986, he is staying here. So, sometimes for certain disciples, one word of Guru is enough. They will follow it lifelong, faithfully they will follow. I heard about one boy who joined his Guru's ashrama when he was an 8-year-old boy in Vrindavan. And then when we went for Vrindavan Yatra, we went to the temple, he was 88 years old. That means 80 years he has served his Guru. So actually when he joined his Guru's ashram, he was 8 years old. And his Guru passed away when he was 12. Just 4 years only he associated with Guru. But Guru, while leaving the body, he told him, "My dear child, these Radhakrishna deities I am giving to you, don't neglect them, take care of them. All your life, take good care of them." And then Guru passed away. So till the age of 88 he was taking care. So my Guru Maharaj was saying, "All of you, put your head at his feet and take his dust." Of course he said, but he was not allowing, he was inside hiding at Pujari. But here is an example of faithful adherence to Guru's instruction. And then when we subjugate our senses, then we can follow the instructions. When we are uncontrolled in our senses, can we follow instruction? We cannot follow. And then here comes the Shraddha, 5 aspects of Shraddha. A is all good. That means, the meaning of Sammam Bonam means Krishna is all good. Anything that comes from Krishna must be only love. Prahlad Maharaj, Bali, they all were like that. Bali Maharaj says, my dear Lord Vamana Deva, just as mother or father will only do something good for the child, even when they taunt the child. Similarly, I have full faith in you. Whatever you are doing is for my good, he said. B means, all of you repeat, God knows best.
God knows best.
Yeah. See, there was a businessman lying under a tree. He thought, look at this pumpkin is so big in a small creeper, and the banyan tree has a small fruit, he thought. When he went to sleep, that banyan fruit fell on his forehead. He jumped up and he realized, a small fruit can cause such a big bump in my head. If this pumpkin fell on my head would have broken. So then he said, God knows. Otherwise, if he kept a pumpkin in the top, my head would have broken. So similarly, in our life also, God has a plan for us. One should have faith in His plan and see His conviction. If I love Krishna, that is my ultimate fulfillment. Krishna is pleased, my life is successful. Just like squirrel. Squirrel was offering little service, very faithfully, putting his best efforts. So we should have a conviction that if I please Guru and Krishna, my life is successful. I don't have to be a big man or nothing. And D, a devotee is doubt-free. Is unquestioning belief. Faith beyond need for any evidence. And devotee is fully faithful, like Prahlada had determined faith. And E is emergency is Krishna consciousness, which means Bhaktivedanta Thakur taught our Prabhupada, Krishna consciousness is the emergency. It cannot wait. Life is short, time is running out, death can come anytime. Take to Krishna consciousness. These 5 aspects of faith. This is all I have to repeat. A means all good. Who is all good? Krishna is all good. B means God knows best. C is conviction. What is the conviction? If Krishna is pleased, my life is successful. That's conviction. And D is doubt free. That means devotee has become free from all doubts. What is that? The person asking you to start? Dinner, yeah? Okay. Why, for making notes,
No,
okay.
Just by simply they must have clicked something.
Okay. And E is, what is emergency? Krishna consciousness is emergency, correct, no? So, these 5 aspects you can think deeply when you go back. These are all are relating to faith. You see, even Krishna kills 60 crore people in the battle of Kurukshetra. All of them went back home, back to God. See, by killing he can benefit them. What is because we embrace someone? How much more he can benefit. Similarly, Lord is cheating, as Vamana Devi is cheating whom? Chalayasya vikramane balimad bhuta vamana visena. Whom did he cheat?
Bali Maharaj.
Yeah. Although he apparently cheated Bali Maharaj, he told Bali Maharaj, as soon as Bali Maharaj surrendered to him, he made him one of the 12 Mahajans. Correct, no? Not only that, he told him, I will make you the next Indra. That means whatever I am taking from you, you will get it all back when you become Indra. Plus, I am sending you to Sutala Loka to become the king, and I will become your Dwarapalaka. Correct? So where did he cheat? You can see that he made him more glorious. If Vamana Dev didn't come in his life, his name won't be written in golden letters now. So, if Lord's cheating can be so divine and so beneficial, so how much more, he is dealing with his pure devotees can be. So we should have a firm faith that, Krishna is all good. Nothing bad can come out. See, Prabhupada said, if a thief is stealing a bank, he is beaten by the police. When Krishna is stealing butter, he is glorified as Makan Chor. Correct, no? Yeah. If a warrior is running away from battlefield, he is called a coward. When Krishna is running from the battlefield, he is glorified as Ranchodra. He is glorified. Is it not true? Because the Lord is divine, his activities are divine, they are not ordinary. One should understand the transcendental nature of his activities. Because devotees feel great joy in Lord's naughty behavior. Because ultimately everything is within him. Everything is subordinate to him. So, Yugala Krishna Prabhu, on behalf of the audience, he was asking the question about the faith. The faith is actually developed the same way as the Narada boy, the Dasiputra, developed faith by associating with Bhaktivedanta. In that purport, Prabhupada says, service to a pure devotee is even greater than service to Krishna directly. Because the Lord wants to see his pure devotees helped. So anyone helps his movement by distributing books and rendering services and pleasing a pure devotee, then that fellow can very easily please the Lord. And one's faith can be increased very easily. Alright, Prabhupada? I can conclude here. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Thank you all very much.